sweet potatoes in the front beds are just completely took over all the beds. Welcome to another episode. Today I'm going to show you how to dig sweet potatoes and how to cure them for storage. Let's get going. Digging them is actually really easy. It's just like digging regular potatoes. And here you can see I found where the main stem is growing out. And in this case, yeah, the regular potatoes you'd wait till this died back. And this, the vines are still going to keep going nice and strong until we get a frost. And where that stem is going out, you can already see there are potatoes right there. You just get in with your hands in some situations. But like just get a fork down underneath, go back a little ways from where that vine is, get a fork underneath there, and try not to come even all that close, and just kind of loosen that up just to do less damage. And then go in and get them with my hands. A lot of times at that point you can even just pull up the whole thing here. I missed a couple down there, I can see. Notice here we have some white flesh varieties. We really like these, they're really tasty. We like all of them actually, but these are really tasty ones. Just pull them off the stem. Once you get them up, get your vines back out of your way. And I know I have one in here that I didn't get. Down there in the clay a little more. Right next to it, we have a orange flesh variety. An orange flesh variety in here too. Notice I started a little ways back in the plant, just loosened up that soil. Now I can get in, just grab them. A lot of times you can just leave them flat attached to the plant and just pull them up, and there you are. Just break them off here. And we'll talk about curing them, and we'll heal up all those little holes, or heal up all those spots that got pulled up in a little bit. Sometimes you'll get ones that sprouted nearby. They sprout early. The stems will grow out, and they'll anywhere they'll try to root all over the place. And they'll have all these little tiny ones, and a lot of times they'll be like this size. They're not worth it. I mean, if you really wanted to, they're a pain to clean, but if you really wanted to mess with them, you could. Typically the only really harvestable, it's not always the case, but most of the time the only harvestable sweet potatoes are the ones right where you planted them, right where the main vine is growing. Then after you have done that kind of gentle version, I always like to go back through and just make sure there weren't any deeper that I missed, and maybe we're down a little bit farther. Most of the time you don't find any. Every now and then you find a straggler that was off to the side a little bit. Here I didn't find any, but not a bad idea to check. Didn't take long. Our garden is so sloped in this spot. We put some tarps down so when all the soil comes downhill, it's a little bit easier to keep it back. Digging your sweet potatoes is easy, but curing them is a little bit more complicated. They need 85 to 95% humidity and 80 to 90 degrees. And at harvest time, that's often difficult for most of us to get those temperatures. You can get that temperature and that humidity any way you want, but here's one simple way. So we just lay our sweet potatoes out in the garden, often in the bed that we dug them from, but in this case they're just on the edge of all our different experimental beds, and cover them with some black plastic. The moisture from the ground will help keep the humidity high under there, and the black plastic will obviously keep it warm. And we'll check it with a thermometer as well. And that's it. We just cover them up. And we need to leave them to cure for, some sources say as little as 4 days. Most sources say as many as 10 days. I would be safe. I'd say 7 to 10 days. You want them to cure in that heat and that humidity, 80 to 90% humidity and 80 to 90 degrees. Oh, if it gets cool at night, you need to be careful with them. They can't get below 55, definitely not below 50. They get corky if they get that, and spongy. If you ever cut into a sweet potato that was corky or spongy, that's what happens when they get below 50. They change, and they're really not that palatable anymore. So if it's cool at night, what we will do is we'll cover them with a blanket if it's warm enough under there, but we'll actually might extend an extension cord out here and have a heating pad on it as well, just to keep that temperature up during the evening time if the temperature is going to drop much below 55. So that's it. You know how to dig them. You know how to cure them. Once you have this, just keep them in a storage bin in your kitchen. I mean, there's other better ways to keep them a little bit longer, but we just keep them in our kitchen in a storage bin, and they keep really well. So we'll see you next time. Remember, stay open to growing.